Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Snell here. It is less than not even 24 hours after college basketball season has officially come to an end that the WNBA offseason has officially started off with some chaos. And why not talk about it here on Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast? Let's talk about it in just a couple of minutes. Can't wait to talk about it.
You are now tuned into the sounds of Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
And as always, thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Snell here, host of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great Easter. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. This is episode 486 of the podcast. As you seen the title, just being straightforward with the conversation. Angel Reese earlier today was traded to the Atlanta Dream. But before we get into that, there's a few things I want to say up front. I want to take a moment to thank Greg Jones. I did an interview with him last week. It was a good interview. I have that on the channel. Check that out if you haven't know. So check that out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to work on some more interviews. Maryland women's basketball. It has been something with the transfer portal season officially opening. My understanding as of today, I think now we're 1,000. And with Maryland, it's going to be interesting. So we'll talk about that. We'll have some guests at a later date, so stay tuned for that. Baltimore Ravens voluntary camp started today as well. We'll talk about that. We'll try to follow that as much as we can, as far as also to watch the Commanders. I know I'm supposed to do an Oreo video. I apologize for that. Just got caught up with the NCAA tournament for the women and the Maryland women's basketball. So I apologize for that. We'll talk about them soon, so please be patient with that. WNBA mock draft 2.0. Still working on that, especially now the expansion draft is complete with the Tempo and the Fire have completed their mock with their expansion drafts respectfully. We'll talk about that in a little while soon, so stay tuned in for that. But a lot of great content on the channel. Appreciate the support and getting on the channel. You can also follow my work on teammbsmedia.com. I have all that in the description, link through Linktree. Again, appreciate the support. Like, comment, subscribe. So let's talk about it. So let the chaos start. Angel Reese is officially a member of the Atlanta Dream. Not surprised. I wasn't expecting it for it to start off that way. So the Atlanta Dream obviously give up 2 second-round picks in 2028 for Angel Reese, and Chicago gets the 27 and 28 first-round picks. Now, keep in mind that this 2027 first-round pick is actually a first-pick swap with the Mystics. So as of right now, if the Sky don't, depending on how the Sky finish, how the Mystics finish, that could be our pick. So that's going to be a solid class next year. Hannah Hidalgo, Juju, Audie Crooks, Madison Booker, That's going to be interesting. Overall thoughts on the trade. Um, I really think for me, I don't think there was any. I think it was just a fresh, clean slate for everybody. I think a lot of it started, in my opinion, with the the interview where the cat was let out of the bag about how she felt about the team, especially at the point where the season was still continuing. I thought how they handled the players only meeting. We didn't need to know that. We did not need to know that she was suspended for a game. The exit interview I thought was the really the big one, where she did the exit interview on her own podcast, where she didn't even think Tyler, she didn't even think any of her teammates, and not even the staff, even the organization. If anything, I thought it was going to be okay. Let's just see how it looks. But I think going to Atlanta, I think it's going to be good for them. I think this boosts their front court with Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. I do think right now the winners of both Atlanta and Angel Reese at the moment, and Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray. Now, when I bring up the loser part, I want you to stay with me for a second. Alicia Gray was a free agent, but here's the thing: because the CBA has not been finalized yet, we're still waiting for everything to be finalized and signed, different things like that. So we got to figure out that's going to be prioritized. Ryan Howard. Who do you keep? BG, Bree Jones tore her meniscus, but they said she'd be ready to go by the start of the season. I don't think it was a front court issue. I'm going to say it was more of a back court issue. I think with Atlanta, Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray, I think, are proven players. And for the record, Ryan Howard is worth a max contract. I don't I don't know where this discontent of being a hard ass on Ryan has come from, and not understand the context. When you were as number one overall pick, when you're drafted to a team that was literally a shit show, and literally being part of the rebuilding process, I understand, yes, you've building this thing around her. I think, if anything, you have to figure out down this stretch, and we saw this against Indiana, down the stretch, how to tap into her potential more. I think that's the key. Down the stretch, maybe do we go with Alicia Gray as our closer? I don't think you need, respectfully, as I think as great as Skylar is as an example, I don't think you need a Skylar Diggins to get potential out of Ryan Howard, who I think is already proven. If that were the case, then why did Jewel Lloyd leave Seattle? And I just don't think you need that, to me, because I think, I'll say this: every player is not born as a natural killer with a killer instinct. Every player is different. Like, you can have, I think Coach Semesco is going to have to find, he's really going to figure out how to tap into her game and being less passive down the stretch. I think that's where the issue is. They have the pieces. I think they had the pieces last year. I just think they have it this year. It all depends on who they sign. Personally, I think they'll re-sign Naz Hillman. I think they'll move on from BG and Bree Jones personally, because I can't see now you having three starters, particularly Bree Jones, and now Angel Reese and BG, someone's losing minutes. If in my opinion, if that's the case. And then as far as the backcourt, like everything's also too predicated on health. This team right now, realistically, games are not won on paper. Predicated on health. Yeah, this team is a right now until we see how the rest of free agency looks. It looks great. So that's where I want to get on that part. That's where the losers ish and understand where I'm coming from on this. That's where I was going for with the Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray part. The reason why I'm putting Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray on here is because from this perspective. Now with Stan culture, seeing what Dana Evans went through, Isabel Harrison went through, my fear is, let's say, Ryan Leash have a game, and knowing and seeing the stuff that is seen on social media, I don't like that for them. Not just them. Naz is still there. Even talk about Nia Coffey. I'm just as an example. It's them being criticized and critiqued for all the wrong things, walking on eggshells in terms of, okay, like they're entitled to have bad games, but I felt like in Chicago, it was everybody else and not Angel, but we'll get into that in a little bit. That's my fear. That's what I mean when I put them as losers, but they win in this trade. Understand, I put that as in with the asterisk only because from the Stan culture of like now you get to deal with that nonsense. That's where I'm coming from. As far as winners, you get a three-headed monster that I think can really, really turn some heads in the same conference, because you're also going to face Indiana. I think they face each other 5 times. So that rivalry should be interesting. Also, too, the winners for Atlanta. The city of Atlanta, ticket sales, I already know, gone up. People are going to pack College Park to go see them. So they probably will pull, like what the Mystics will do eventually. We'll have to move into a big arena. I will hopefully where the Hawks play. So I'm hoping we'll see what that looks like as the season progresses. But as far as VG and Naz Hillman goes, they're free agents. So 2 of the 3 will probably be re-signed, but it's going to be interesting. I think Naz will stay. I can't see Naz leaving, but I think Bree Jones and BG will leave. But if I had to give a grade for the Sky, I think with Chicago, this is a clean slate for you as well, from the standpoint of, okay, now I think this is Tyler Marsh's first full off season. I think you can go out, and I think they can get out of the situation that they're in with this new CBA. They can go out, get a guard, as an example, Enrique. They can look for a stretch 4. They can get some pieces, and I think they're right back to being contenders. But I am really mind-boggled that you didn't at least get a player, or you didn't even get the 2026 pick. If I were Jeff, I would have found a way to get the 2026 pick. I would have found to get all 3 first round picks. That's just me. So it's gonna be interesting to see how their draft capital will come. And it's gonna be interesting to see how they end up free agency. And it's gonna be interesting to see how everything will look. Now, and also too, I want to make this clear. Also too, like, it's not just about, the bells and the whistles. Sometimes for players, ladies and gentlemen, free agency is a choice of where they want to go, where they want to win, and where I think they're in the best position to win. Facilities, all that, that's bells and whistles. But like, for example, the Los Angeles Sparks, they're getting a facility And for years, I think they had to go to Santa Barbara, I think it was, and play for some time. I don't think it's just about. I think it's being in the best situation as a player to win. That's just how I look at it. Um, I think for fans, for Chicago, I still think you should still go and enjoy Sky basketball. I think there's still a lot to be. It's still early. Like free agency hasn't really got underway because we haven't started really true I mean, I know players will start people negotiations, but the draft is next week, so I get it. Like, you lose, your best player, but that still should not stop you from going and supporting, your team. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still going. Me personally, I'd still go to a basketball game. When the Mystics didn't have Belladon, still going to basketball games. Even now with the Mystics now, people still go out to support them. So it's just sticking by your team through thick and thin, personally. But other than that, if I had to give the grade, I'm going to give the Sky respectfully. Because we got to see how they look this year, season-wise. And we have to see what they do with their pick. Which my mock draft, I had them taking Kiki Rice. This was the first one that I did with Nick Andre. Shout out Nick Andre for the Best MW show. That's going to be interesting. And I still think a guard will probably be the best fit for them. I will say for right now a B plus. For Atlanta, I'm giving them an A minus. Only because I want to see what they do with free agency. Because I want to see how. Because also too, A minus is Andrew Reese is still a rookie contract, so I think until 28. So that's a win-win. So you don't have to worry about that. But I just want to see how they'll look, how they'll prioritize the contracts, who they'll keep, who they'll move on from. I think that will determine how Atlanta will look, and also too how this team will look as the season starts. I think that this is the team, like how the Connecticut. I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to compare them to the Connecticut Sun, not last year or the year before. I think this is their ceiling. They have what they need predicated on health. I think last year was it, in my opinion, but I don't. I just feel like we just got to see because games are not won on paper. Also, to again, as far as back to Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray, where I just have a quick question for those that, and again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And I'm going to close out with this. Can someone please point to me where is the jealousy that Ryan Howard has towards Angel Reese when she commented under her Instagram post that she's happy to be with her in Atlanta? I see, like, that's what I'm talking about. Those like things like that. I think I saw on Threads something like that. So yeah. But all best to her. I think she'll do well. But also too, like, this also for the Mystics is also a winner in this draft. But also too, this also kind of proves the point. As much as I respect them, and I hope he's doing well. I know he's overseas coaching, I think in Belgium. Mike Tebow really should have taken Angel Reese instead of Aaliyah Edwards. Love them both to pieces, but Angel Reese should have been a Washington Mystic, and I'm standing by that because now, like, that is starting to look. Even though I think we're okay now, even though we'll talk about that in another episode. Yeah. But you got yourselves a real player, Atlanta. So enjoy it. And yeah, can't wait to see what it looks like. But yeah, I think that's just my analysis on it. Y'all let me know your thoughts, how you feel about the trade, your thoughts on Chicago, how you feel about it, what do you think about the trade, what are you expecting of this draft for Chicago? Who are you looking for this guy to draft? What do you think of the dream? Who do you think they'll keep and retain as far as free agents? Who would you like them to get in free agency? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But until then, please like, comment, and subscribe for our future content. This is your host, Nathan Snell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Hope you all have a great evening. Hope you're all doing well. Stay safe. And we'll talk soon. Peace. Stay out.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.
But they don't know, they don't know, they don't know.